Now, y'all know I can't talk about Jesus' worth without talking about his beauty. He is beautiful. And the human heart was created to be fascinated, and it will be fascinated by something or someone. And our hearts were created to be fascinated by Jesus himself. And he is beautiful enough to keep our fascination, to keep our attention all the days of our lives. And what we're fascinated by is what we're going to love and what we're going to give our time and our attention and our affections for. We're going to change the way that we do life as normal. We're going to change our schedule. We're going to inconvenience ourselves without even thinking of the cost, because that's what love does. When someone is in a new relationship, a girl meets a boy or a boy meets a girl, and their hearts get fascinated with each other, they start spending less time with their other friends, more time with each other. They start spending their money on things to do together or on buying gifts for each other. They start rearranging their lives if necessary. They move out of houses. They detach from parents. They begin to live differently and make different decisions because their hearts have been fascinated by beauty in each other. And that's the way that God created our hearts. So when we are fascinated by Jesus's beauty, we will begin to make different decisions. We will begin to rearrange our schedules to be with him more. We will begin to want what he wants, all because our hearts have gotten fascinated by beauty. I believe one of the ways that our hearts gets fascinated by beauty is by prayer, by spending time talking to Jesus, meditating on Jesus, and hearing about Jesus from each other, from our own history with God. Let's look at a couple of people in Scripture who were fascinated by the beauty of Jesus and the extravagance that they poured out on him. Let's look at John chapter 12, starting with verse 3. Mary then took a pound of very costly perfume of pure nard and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples who was intending to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and given to poor people?" He said this not because he was concerned about the poor, but he was a thief. Judas said, "Why is she wasting this money on you? It could be spent better." And there's going to probably be days where people may even say that to you, or your own heart may say that. Why are you still doing this? Why are you still pouring yourself on him? But a heart that has been fascinated by beauty doesn't even feel like it's a sacrifice. It's what we want to do. He's given us a new heart that now desires to be with him, to pour our love on him, to talk to him. He's worthy of the price. He's worthy of the cost of oil. And when our heart is fascinated by his beauty, we will pour it out freely and we'll keep coming back because we have found someone who is unlike any other, who keeps us captivated and fascinated. Let's look at what the Shulamite bride said about her beloved in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, starting with verse 8. "I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, as to what you will tell him, for I am lovesick." The women ask her, "What kind of beloved is your beloved, O most beautiful among women?" Verse 10, "My beloved is dazzling and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000s. His head is like gold, pure gold. His locks are like clusters of dates and black as a raisin. His eyes are like doves." In just a few verses before this, the Shulamite bride had been out in the streets. She'd been beaten by the watchmen, and she's trying to find her beloved. And the women in the town are asking her, "You've been beaten. Look at how much you're sacrificing to find him, to look for him. Why do you love him so much?" And the Shulamite, without even missing a beat, says, "'Cause he's beautiful. He is the fairest among 10,000. He's fairer than the sons of men. There's no one like him. His leadership is perfect. He delights in me. He loves me." Our hearts get fascinated by beauty when we spend time with the Lord, when we meditate on how he treats us and how he feels about us, how he interacts with us. And it keeps us coming back.